Just checking my microphone is working this week. Help me, ducks. How is everybody doing? Lovely to see you all here. Already over 50 people in the chat chatting away. So I'll just do a very quick hello to those of you who are in and have been waiting. So hello, Becca. How are you? Jason. Hello again, Jason. Joanne. Hi, Joanne. We have Trio of Witches. Nice to see you. How's Sandra? Hello, Sandra. Ramon, nice to see you. Missed you last week. Yeah, it was a lovely breakaway, but I also missed checking in with the community as well. So thank you, Ramon. And we have Feeding My Soul. Kristen Louise. Hello, Kristen. Tycon. Hi, Tycon. The lovely Patrice. Hello, Patrice. Kim. Hello, lovely Kim. And Patsy. Hello, Patsy. We have Learning the Path. Who else have we got? Tarot Diva Ellie, the lovely Ellie. Hello. Mike. Hi, Mike. And Jenna. Hello. Holy cow, I made a CC&C. It's lovely to see you here. How are you doing? Just seeing if there's anybody else new in. Kiki Bell, nice to see you. The lovely Anne is here. Keep safe and well in the heat. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a moment. So Sean, hello Sean. Diana, Layla, Malamia, Leslie, Jax. Hello Jax, long time no see. Good to see you. Hope you're doing okay. And Barefoot Pagan, hello Cecilia. And MA, the Grey, Whispers of Three. Yes, I hope the noise isn't too distracting, but I've had a fan on for like a week constantly. Oh, it's one of my electric bill, where it probably will be sky high, but it's so hot. So the UK government has declared a national emergency. So they've issued for the first time ever a red warning. So if you are in the UK, it's going to get hotter over the next few days, particularly Monday and Tuesday is going to be the hottest, with temperatures that we've never, ever had in the UK, which is 40 degrees, which is, I believe, 104. Now, I know there's probably people here in the chat who will be like, well, we always have 104. We're not set up for it at all. We're not used to it. We've never had it ever. We're not set up for it. We don't have aircon in our building. Some new builds might, but on the whole, you know, most of the buildings in the UK are ancient, so we don't have aircon, and we're just not equipped for it. And the reason why it's a national emergency that's been declared is because there will be loss of life, and not just the most vulnerable, which are babies, small children, and the elderly. People who are fit and well, they're expecting will lose their life as well. So I just wanted to say just to everybody who's here in the UK, just do everything that you can, drink loads of water, try and keep cool. Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. I can remember the only time I've experienced temperatures like that was when I was in Utah. I went over once for 4th of July and it got to 103, and it was that hot because Utah's in desert. They wouldn't allow fireworks that year for the 4th of July because, you know, wherever they land, it could cause fire and again, risk to life. So do they have cool stations set up for people to cool off? No, we don't have anything like that at all. I worry about like dogs. You know, cats are pretty resilient. You know, they can go and keep cool and in the shade and stuff like that. But dogs, it's a worry, isn't it? So if you've got animals as well, just try your best. Walk them really early in the morning or late at night, or keep them as cool as possible. Utah, yes, it's hot here. Yes, it does get hot in Utah. Not as hot as when I went into Texas. I can remember stepping off the plane, and I mentioned it before. It was so hot. It was like being hit by a wet, warm blanket. It was quite suffocating. But yeah, so in the UK, we don't have the system, and we're not used to it. Our weather comes in bursts. So whereas in some countries, it will gradually get hotter and hotter and hotter, and then, you know, cools off towards the autumn, etc. So you and you get used to that climate. We've never had 40 degrees, 104 in this country ever. So it really is something that's quite unusual for us. So yeah, national emergency declared. When I first saw that, it was last night, it came through, breaking news. The UK government has declared a national state of emergency. I was thinking, my mind automatically goes to Russia, you know, what's happening? And then when I heard it was the weather, I knew that the weather was going to get hotter and hotter because, you know, working where I work, we have to make sure people are cared for. I didn't realise it was as serious as that. Well, Miss Lou won't be leaving the house over now. And over Monday and Tuesday, she'll have her ice pops and the fan. Yeah. I've known there's people as well are filling the baths with cold water and things like that, aren't they, for their beloved dogs. That's so scary and concerning when you're not equipped for it. So sorry, wishing everyone well. Thank you, Patrice. Yeah. And that's the main thing. We're not prepared for it. And even though more and more buildings are getting aircon, a lot of people are saying things like, well, it's almost redundant to get aircon because we tend to get like 3 or 4 days where you might need to switch it on. We don't really get brilliant summers. But with climate change and everything being how it is, you know, there's no rule book anymore. There really isn't. So yeah, we just have to deal with it as best we can when these things happen. And I've actually been drinking flavoured water all day. I've still got some left in this glass, actually. But actually, I find hot drinks quite cooling. I don't have a lot of them, but I do find them quite cooling. So I thought I'll sit and have a cuppa with you, being as it's cuppa ketchup and cards. So how's everybody doing? Anyway, is everybody okay? Have you all had a good week? I feel like I've not been on much. The last video I uploaded was from my weekend away last weekend, which was, it was amazing. It was just what was needed. It was just lovely to have that kind of recharging of the batteries and not having any plans. You know, sometimes when you go away, everything's planned, isn't it? We're going to do this, we're going to do that. But just to go somewhere with a book and your cards and just enjoy the stillness, the quietness of a rural little country village in the middle of the beautiful Derbyshire Dales. It was great. Nature is healing. It is, Leslie. Silk scarves with reusable ice cubes knotted in, draped around the neck is good. Oh, that's a good idea, Tony. Yes, exactly, Moon Daisy. If you've got the infrastructure for it, then and you are used to it, and it builds over the year, you know, temperatures gradually rising, then you do acclimatize. So what else have I got to tell you? I'm so glad, Sandra. What does Sandra do that we're glad? Stay hydrated, says Ramon, and air conditioning if able. No coffee though. No coffee though. Oh, I can't go without my coffee. But I do have a tower fan. I've got one of these tower fans, and that's really, really nice. It's lasted me some years, that has. Really has lasted. Derbyshire is such a beautiful county. Oh, it is. It's stunning. I love being so close to Derbyshire. And as I said in my video, I really do appreciate, you know, living in a city. I am a city dweller. I enjoy living in the city. But it's nice every so often just to get out of the city and escape it for a little bit. So yeah. So that's that. What else have I got to tell you? I found this. It's a charity shop find. And you know, I don't know if you're like me, but you know, when you're kind of into tarot or witchy things and all that kind of stuff, you don't see things that they are. You see things for what you can make them. And I thought this was really cool because I just saw like little offering bowls. I think it's really cool. I guess it's for putting like perhaps oil in, maybe vinaigrette, oils, things like that. I don't know. I really don't know what it's for, but they're not too deep, but they're deep enough. And I thought, how cool to have them for like little offering bowls on my altar. Ketchup and mustard. You won't get much. Over here for ketchup and mustard, we tend to have these really tacky, squeezy bottles, and you decant. I mean, we don't now because what they caught onto the manufacturers was to actually make squeezy bottles. But back in the day when I was a kid, ketchup, brown sauce, and salad cream, which was your three staples, that was it. There was no barbecue sauce. There was no mayo or anything like that when I was a kid. It was those three things. And they came in glass bottles. And you would decant them into these squeezy bottles. And you'd have a nice little set of the three. One red, one brown, and one yellow for your salad cream. But I can always remember my dad getting the bottle and smacking the end of it, you know, really, come on, trying to get every last little bit of ketchup from the bottle into the squeezy. And then he got wise once and said, no, he put some vinegar in it, put the lid back on and shook it up and then it come out, but it was horrible. It's like, don't do that. Hello, Naomi. Don't be slating my big tomato bottle for decanting, Simon. No, but we did. That was just practice. You decanted. And if you went into a cafe, all your sauces were decanted into squeezy bottles. But then, like I say, they got wise and they started producing them in squeezy bottles. So you didn't have to do that. But I'd be surprised if that was for ketchup and mustard, but you never know. I kind of just thought, but then they've got these little hats that sit on top. See, if it was a Buddhist shrine like I have in my bedroom, we put offerings there, but one's always water. So we'd have one that was water and one that would be something edible, like rice was a very popular one. So they'll be good on that as well. But for pagan altar, I guess it would just be herbs. I put herbs and things on there. Maybe some chalice well water in one of them, herbs in one. Because I've got my big bottle of chalice well water here. So then you've got a small bit taken out of it. And then I've got this one, which is, I put WS on because that's the White Springs water. So maybe could do that. But for £2, steal, £2. And I quite like the colour as well. I like the earthy green. I thought it'd be quite nice for a sacred space. Indian chutneys. Could be. I'm just seeing me tag somewhere as well. It's Celia. We go on a charity shop hunt at least once a month. And some of the things we pick up for altars and for sabbats are amazing and cheap. Yeah, exactly. So like me, when I go into a charity shop, if I see something like that, I don't think, oh, that would be great for ketchup or, you know, vinaigrette. I think, oh, what great offering bowls. But, and I've got so much stuff. This, which way? If I go that way, Oh, you see the arm of my thing. But you can see here, that's my sacred space. But the doors underneath are jam-packed as well. Jam-packed with things for different seasons and Sabbats, and I've got all my Halloween stuff in there, Samhain stuff and Yule things, and I do love a giant tomato. I bought some beautiful tomatoes this morning, chopped them up with my salad, put a bit of soy sauce on them. Off the vine ones, really nice. Patsy's getting a nice sea breeze, says Sandra. Tangine spice holder. Tangine. Little hats are ancient nipple covers. Butterfly, little nipple covers. Could be. Good job RL isn't here. They'd be screenshotting that. That makes sense, Ramon. Does look like Tangine. What's a tangine? I've heard of a tagine, which are the Moroccan things, aren't they? But then they'd be open. But I don't know what a tangine is. Let me scroll down, see if I can see any. People are saying sorry to Stephanie. Where's Stephanie's comment? This has been the worst week ever. Best friend died. Oh no. 2 old friends passed. One got an eviction notice, but my reading last week were all pentacles and sun card. Oh, I'm sorry. That's awful when you lose people that are close to you. So you will be fine, but it's still important to go through the grieving process as well. Hello, Hen. How are you? Long time no see. How have you been? We've just been talking about having we're in a national state of emergency in the UK, and I bet it's lovely and cool where you are. And hello, Juicy Wet. Juicy Wet. I love that name. Hey, Simon from USA. Nice to see you. Tangine is for spices. Thank you, Debbie. And then Ramon has put, tangine is a slow simmered stew of northwestern Africa, traditionally cooked in a covered earthenware pot. But that's a small version of it for spices. Oh, wow. Well, it's now offering bowls. I wanted to mention as well, I got a beautiful gift from Anne. Now, I'm so pleased to tell you. So Anne, if you don't know, is the lady who made my little mascot, my little Chester, the hare, who's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And many different tarot bags. That's the one for my Tarot Des O Arcs. You've seen the ones for Okash and Thorn and Shadowlands. And every time I show one of Anne's products, I get lots of comments from people saying, does Anne have a shop? Could you post a link to the shop? And Anne, for all this time, hasn't had a shop. And when we was in the lockdown, all the way through lockdown, right from the very start of 2 years ago, over 2.5 years ago, Anne almost weekly gave away, just to keep herself busy and active during lockdown, would make the most beautiful tarot pouches and just give them away in the Hermit's Cave. And she's opened a shop, and her shop is called Orsetti Craft on Etsy. If you look in the description of this video anyway, there is a link in there that will take you, or if you're watching this back, which will take you to Anne's shop. I think she's got about 6 items in there at the moment. And she asked if she could mention it in the Hermit's Cave. And I was like, absolutely, because so many people have been asking. And they've always said, if Anne ever opens a shop, please let us know. Way to go, Anne. Yeah, exactly. Simon, your item is Indian. It is a mini tangine used for salt, pepper, or cumin. Well, how cool is that? How cool. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. And then, and she's so generous because she's gifted me so many things over the years. But she sent me a little surprise this week. And I've just got to mention, look at this. Anne, if you ever watched it, well, you was in at the beginning. I don't know if you're still here. But if you ever watched this bag, please let me know where your stationery is from, especially now I've discovered fountain pens, because this is gorgeous. Look at it. The way it opens up, I'm like, oh, it's beautiful. I need me some nice stationery. And it's such a giver. I'm glad we can support her through her shop. Exactly, Patrice. She really deserves the support as well after doing so much over the last few years for the fun of it. But even though it's back in its wrapper, I did have a look. So because I wanted to message Anne to say it had arrived safely, but it was beautifully wrapped. And this is gorgeous. So it's a pouch, but it's a double pouch. And she is using my favorite color. Look at that. My favorite color combination, which is purples and pinks. I love purples and pinks. But this has this beautiful shimmer as the light catches it. It's really gorgeous. It's also magnetic. But, and this is the bit I really love. Look at this on the inside. I'm trying to make sure you can see it. Got a little hermit tag stitched in. How cool is that? And she stuffed it well. She's put all kind of packaging and things on the insides. So it takes 2 decks. Look at all that packaging. Isn't that cool? Oh, and I love it. I really, really love it. So I've been thinking about what decks to put in, because I've got one double pouch, which I love. This is Kelly Bear's double pouch, which I've mentioned. Now, in this one, let's look at some decks. In this one, and it's a similar concept. It opens up, and then I put an RWS and a Marseille style deck, a pip deck. So in this one, it's got Tarot Vintage, which I love. Tarot Vintage. I really love the way I edged it. Well, the way the edging turned out. It's just really nice. It's almost like a wood effect. Gorgeous with this colour backs. Just matches perfectly. And this is a wonderful. So it's Lo Scarabeo. The cardstock is really nice. And I love the muted colours. I love the oranges. Well, I'm just showing you the same card twice. Orange colours, the browns. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Look at the care she put into it. Yeah. So that goes in one side on this one. I'm showing you this because I'm deciding what to put in Anne's. And then on this side, I have got the Vachetta, which is a stunning deck. Out of my Lo Scarabeo decks, I've got about, I think it's about 14 or 15 Lo Scarabeo decks, but 3 of them are my absolute favorite. The Vachetta, the Soprofino, and the it's just gone right at me, Neoclassico. I love those three. I mean, I've got the Arturia and things like that, but those three in particular are gorgeous. But out of the three, I think this is my favourite. It's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The cardstock is amazing. I love the vachetta. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. The colours as well in this version. I mean, look. So that's what's in my double pouch from Kelly Bear. Lovely cards. I have to make sure that the vachetta's in just nice, because this cardstock, with it not being what's the word, laminated, I don't want any of the cards to bend. So yeah, so that goes in there, and then it just ties, and it's the ribbon, although sparkly and beautiful, is quite elasticated, so you can kind of pull it tight. It's got lots of give in it. So for this beautiful pouch, I'm going to take a deck out of a tin, which is the Pam's old deck, because again, I want to have with having a double pouch, I want to have one side RWS and the other side in Marseille. No shipping to the US. Oh, I'm not quite sure what that is. Oh, there's Anne. Thank you, everyone, for your kind, generous comments. Your encouragement means so much to me. Thank you all. You deserve it, Anne. You deserve that. You've done so much for us as a community. So Pam's old deck, I'm going to mention something else about that as well in a moment, because I could still use this tin, and I'll explain why. But this has become one of my favorite RWSs. I absolutely love it. And maybe I should do an updated top 10 RWS. I've not done one for a couple of years. I always think I'm just doing the same thing though, because I think I've done it 3 times now. My most popular video ever is top 10 tarot RWS version, which I did about 4.5 years ago. And you know, you can go to newest video first, oldest, or most popular. If you click most popular, that's the one out of all the videos I've ever done. Because I think this has even jumped ahead of like the Dirty Pam. I just love it. I love the backs. I think the backs are beautiful in this two-tone green with this gold pattern. Just stunning. And then I like the muted colours, but what I really like, and this is by Conrad Stain, and it's on MPC, and there is a link as well, because I purchased a mini version, which I'll show you in a minute. There's a link in my description, but just look how clear the line work is. Look at the flowers. And it's removed. There are people, aren't there, that really don't like really don't like the skies in them, the garish yellows and blues. That's all gone. And you've got this kind of vintagey feel. Hi, Stu. Nice to see you. I've not seen you for a while. Hope you're keeping okay. Like the fall here, look, we just get the plain background. And I love this so much that when Conrad created the Hermit's Hybrid Tarot for me, he used the majors and courts from this deck. The only difference with that one is the backs. It's the same backs, but it's got the playing card symbols because it's playing card pip. But yeah, really, really gorgeous. So because I want this to be out where I can just grab and use, I'm going to put that into one side. So let's pop that in there. It's nice and snug. Perfect fit, look. I love that little hermit tag. So cool. Very personalized it. And then I'm going to put in the other side my 1JJ Swiss. This is also from MPC by Conrad Steen. And this is the vintage version. And I've got to tell you, this, and the 1JJ Swiss will always have a, you know, a soft spot in my heart because it was my first ever tarot deck. And these images, it's like when you find your old children's books, remind me children's books. When you find your old children's book, like the Ladybird book, like Magic Porridge Pot or Ned the Lonely Donkey or Sleeping Beauty and all them, and you find them again, or you go online, you see those images and your mind is just transported back instantly to being young. That's what these images do for me, because I was 16 when I first got this deck. And these images are just part of my youth. And every time I pull this deck, I go back to feeling excited about tarot as I did when I was 16. But these are bigger cards because these are standard tarot size. The 1JJ Swiss is quite small. It's like a Fournier. That image is so ingrained because we saw that image on the opening credits of Tales of the Unexpected, which was a creepy show that was allowed to watch as kids. 1979, I think it started. But this was one of the cards on the beginning that you've seen going around. But the colours just seem to stand out more on this thicker cardstock, MPC Superior Smooth. It just seems to stand out more. Yet at the same time, having this vintage feel and a larger image, I've just really fell in love with this deck all over again. And surprise, surprise, I can honestly say I think this is now my favorite non-scenic deck. Let's say that, because people say, well, it's a Besançon rather than Marseille, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I know that not every pip deck is a Marseille deck, but every Marseille deck is a pip deck. There's the Hermit. So yeah, this has become a favorite of mine out of Marseille, and up until now it's always been the New Choice Tarot de Marseille, which I still love. I'll always love it. And Tarot des Arcs I love, but having this version of MPC has helped me reconnect with my first deck all over again. Again, I've edged it this time in a more chocolatey brown because it matches the backs better. But I think it will look lovely in this. MPC ships to the US. I thought they were in the UK. No, they're in Germany. MPC is in Germany. Let's just pop it in. I wish MPC was in the UK. That's the one thing. Unless you pay for express postage, it takes an age to get anything from MPC. Okay, so let's make sure that's in properly. There we are. So there it is together. The Pam's Vintage. Pam's Old Deck, sorry. Pam's Old Deck. And on JJ Swiss Vintage. Look at that. So neat and compact. It's gorgeous. I love it, Anne. So do check out Anne's shop. As you can see, it's here below. Anne's Etsy shop, or SETI Craft on Etsy. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Right, what else is people saying? I'm just going to have a breather and have a sip of my coffee. It's so warm. Let's see if I've missed any comments. Love Kelly bags, and do hope her thumb heals very quickly. Yes, I hope so, Anne. It's taking its time, but she can't rush these things. Hello, Nancy. I'm torn between Pam's Old Deck and Tarot Vintage. I would go with Pam's Old Deck, but Tarot Vintage is lovely. And Los Scarabeo, they brought out Tarot Vintage. They're bringing out Marseille Vintage. I think it's September or October time. They're bringing out Marseille Vintage, which will have the same coloration. So that will look lovely in a double pouch, having Pam's Vintage and Marseille Vintage. So that might even happen yet. I might swap the Vachetta up in this one and put the 1JJ Vintage in there, so that I have Tarot Vintage and Marseille Vintage together. I have that deck and I love it. The Tarot Vintage by Los Scarabeo also. You have it, Ramon. It is a good deck, isn't it? Cardstock feels really nice. Do MPC ship from the US? No, Game Crafter is US, isn't it? I believe. Sure, Game Crafter is US. But Tarot Vintage, MPC is Europe. I'm glad you're doing okay, Stu. I really need to pick up Pam's Old Deck. Sly Fox and the Three Billy Goats Gruff. Love those books. Janine, yeah. Oh, I had so many. I do remember having a bookshelf, just a shelf with brackets in my bedroom, and having loads of Ladybird books all lined up. My favourite was Magic Porridge Pot. Love that one. I've got Gingerbread Man. I also like Ned the Lonely Donkey. But I had Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella. Oh, so many. The artwork in those decks, that ought to be a tarot. They ought to bring that out as a tarot, using the 1970s Ladybird books. You can get postcards, a pack of postcards with them on. MPC shipping to the US is expensive. I think shipping from most countries now is quite expensive, isn't it? The JJ Swiss was my first deck too, but I never connected with it back then. I appreciate it more now. Yeah, I really struggled as a 16-year-old. I used to take the minors and courts out and just read with the major arcana back then. And I still think it's a really nice deck. But I don't know, there's just something about, I've even got the 1970 version, which is beautiful, you know, with the soft cardstock, the 2-part box. But having the vintage one, because the images are in the public domain now, so they've created the, Conrad's created the vintage one. You can connect with it all over again, and it's full tarot size. It's still so odd to me hearing everyone talk about being so hot over there. I bet it is, and it's really hot. If you need to, can you get out to the country again to cool off, Simon? Pamela, it was baking. See, living where I live, I don't have outdoor space. Well, I do. There's parks and things like that, but I mean, I can't just step outside. There is a roof garden, but we don't really go down there. It's shared. I sound like such a snob, don't I? It's shared. But being in the garden, I mean, there was the shade, and I did sit in the shade because I burn, as you remember, I burn really easily. But yeah, certainly wasn't cooling off. I mean, it's an old farmhouse, very, very old village, but so there's no aircon or anything like that. It's 30 degrees in Becca's little flat. What is it here? Let me see if I can. I think mine's set to Fahrenheit though, because I'm still old school. I never converted when everybody else did. What have I done to that fan? Oh, now it's making a noise. That's going to bug me. What have I done? I leaned across to get my phone. That's better. Right, so at the moment, it's not too bad at the moment. It's 79 degrees, but we are at 7:45 in the evening. And then it's going to be, it's saying on Tuesday 102, they're expecting it, but it could get to 104 because it could get to 40 degrees, they're saying. We will see. I'm in the US. I have used MPC, Print Studio, and Drive-Through. I've used all three over the time. Bye, Stephanie. I love Ladybird books, Sandra. Yes to Low Scarabeo Vintage. I'm waiting too. Hello, Navneet. I thought you suggest going for Pam's old deck. I was leaning towards it as I love the greens and the aqua blue in it. I was just a bit hesitant about shipping costs to the UK. Oh, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. If I think it's about £15 shipping costs, but then it will take 3 to 4 weeks. That's the only thing. Whereas if you pay £45, which is a big jump, it's here within like a week. It was a beautiful place for sure. I'll jump in my car and go there. It's gorgeous. If you get the chance, if you're here and you get the chance to visit the Derbyshire Dales, do visit Tissington because it's really, really nice. Okay, so yeah, Pam's old deck. So where I sit, just on the sofa here, I've got a little table next to me. It's got some crystals on. It's got a lamp. It's got Alexa. Probably gonna, yeah, she's lit up now. And I've said that. And then in the center, I've got this box, which you probably remember me buying this. It was just before the lockdown, and I went to Wales to visit a friend. And just over the
coronavirus restrictions have ended in Wales. According to gov.wales,
Alexa, stop.
If we all keep to...
That's telling me about coronavirus restrictions in Wales. We went across the border into England, and there's a little town called Chester, which is beautiful, really, really beautiful. And so on this table next to me, this box is sat. But I wanted a deck, you know, when you just sat on the sofa, because I mean, it's not a million miles. I'm being really lazy, sitting there, moving here to where my decks are. It's not, but you know, when you're sitting there and you just want to shuffle a deck, or you just want a quick reading about something or a quick card pull, I wanted a deck to sit next to me. So, because I love Pam's old deck, Conrad has now created a pocket version. So I ordered it. from MPC, and we're having just a little crystal in there. It's just perfect for a small pocket deck, and I love the carving on it. It's really gorgeous. Really nice box. I think we're house twins, Victorian Terrace too. Hi Cindy, nice to see you. Probably need me scissors. Ouch. Dangerous. Even a pair of scissors. Just stabbed myself. There we are. I broke the seal. So let's pop this up. Oh yeah, I just did it. I've already popped it up. So Pam's old deck, it's on MPC and it's by Conrad Stain, who did the CS Tarot. So you probably remember Conrad from the CS Tarot. The third version is out now. Edition, I should say, third edition. Again, if you go to the descriptions, if you're watching this back, it's in the description below. And there's a link directly to Pam's old deck in there. But from there, you can find the shop and you can see all his other decks as well. But this is a perfect size. And I was really pleased because I got the CS Tarot, third edition, in the pocket size. Well, no, Conrad sent me that when he wanted to ask me to review the third edition of CS Tarot. And then I was like, oh, he's released a pocket version. I can't speak. It's the heat. Just blame the heat. Is released a pocket version of my favorite deck, which is the Pam's old deck. So in terms of side, I've just popped it away now in this time. In terms of size comparison, they're quite a decent size. They're not. I remember when he first released a CS Tarot, they was really small. In fact, do I have that somewhere around here? I think. Oh, never mind. But yeah, they're not a bad size. In fact, let's compare it with the Magician. Oh, they're gorgeous. So let's pop one on top of the other. And lots of people, it's probably one of the most comments I get actually. What was it I was showing the other day? Oh, it was when I did the video of Okash and Thorn and said, you know, there's now a pocket version. I keep saying vision. What's wrong with me? A pocket version. Even this morning, I woke up to a comment saying, I'm so glad because I have small hands. I really struggle with larger cards. So I think it's really cool when we get a smaller version of a deck, particularly when it's a deck that's a favorite to use. I don't have small hands, but this is a nice size for shuffling. And again, you know, if you want to pop it in your bag and it's a deck that you want to take with you, then it's easy for transporting and things, isn't it? So I'll just show you a few. Again, they have these gorgeous kind of orangey colours. So nice. And even in the smaller pocket version, the line work is so crisp. It's just stunning. And sometimes, and this is no criticism of any creator in particular, but sometimes when creators try and do a vintage version, it can be too much. It can be really grungy. And for me, it kind of detracts me from the image a bit. I can't connect with it as much. But what I love about this is you've got the aged effect, but it's subtle, you know? You still get the clear lines, the nice colours. It's all still there. As you can see here on like the star card, beautiful greens and blues, but you still get that kind of aged effect rather than it being a filter that's applied that just, you know, kind of the image almost seems buried underneath. Ah, another grubby Pam. Hi, Grun. But this one is done really, really well. And the reason why, when I was asked earlier why I'd choose this over Tarot Vintage, is because the Tarot Vintage is stunning. You know, it's got, but it's removed a lot of the colours. Now, this one has removed a lot of the background colours that people think are quite garish with the RWS, as I mentioned, like the yellows. But you still get the colours within the images. It looks different without the bright yellow backgrounds. I really like it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't mind the bright yellow backgrounds. I love the RWS, as you know, but it puts some people off. A beautiful, beautiful Empress. So I can't rave about this deck enough because I just adore it. I really, really do. There's the Hermit. Hanged Man. And yeah, the Fool without the bright colours behind. So I'm really chuffed. So that is going to be the deck that sits next to me. Well, next to me on the table where I sit. Perfect. I could probably get a bigger crystal in there. Might keep the cards more in place. That's going to be too big. Oh, I've got a nice piece of blue calcite. I love this stone. I brought this in Stratford-upon-Avon when I went on my travels back in 2018. So that will sit in there quite nicely next to it. Simon, have you seen the white? Yes, I've got it pre-ordered. Did I pre-order it or is it on my wish list? There's a couple of decks that I pre-ordered on Amazon, which I stopped doing a couple of years ago because they never fulfill. They have things on there, then the release date comes around, then you automatically get a out of stock. But I think that was one that I pre-ordered. Let me have a quick look on Amazon, see which I have ordered. I think there's a couple of decks that I pre-ordered because I thought I might forget at the time. Orders. Oh, I've ordered the Fifth Spirit Tarot because the Fifth Spirit is going to be mass produced. It's going mass market. It's not out until Christmas, 20th of December. But that's one that what have I done? What have I done? That's all the details. Don't want to show that. As you can see here, look where my finger is, Fifth Spirit. So that's arriving in December. And then pre-ordered, yes, the Wiser Tarot. There, pre-ordered. So that's the 1909 RWS, but I think they've added, is it astrology symbols to it, I think. Let's have a look at the image. See all 13 images. Oh, but look, you know, they changed the colors as well. Look at that magician in purple. Gorgeous. I love purple. Oh, what's happened? I'm so clumsy. Where are we? There we go. Purple. And look at the orange colours for the wands. We've got like a green. Trying to do it so it shows you the colour properly. Love it. I forgot how much I loved it. I mean, I obviously saw it and thought, yes, I need to order that. We have a more not as bright yellow background in the Fool. It's got like a mustardy colour and mottled effect. Sorry, it's not showing brilliantly, is it? I should have perhaps altered the brightness on it. But look at the purple and the yellow together. It's quite striking. And you see the symbols at the bottom, astrological and I think Hebrew alphabet from memory. So yes, I have ordered Wiser. Let me get the comments back up. Right, where are we? So that was Trio Witches. Simon, have you seen the Wiser Tarot available for pre-order? Sandra says, lovely blue calcite. You've pre-ordered it, Simon. Sandra knows. How do you know I pre-ordered it? Sean is on the fence with Wiser. Added diversity too, Simon. Brilliant. I advise everyone to watch a few flip-throughs of the Fifth Spirit before pre-ordering. I find it less used than I originally thought. Oh, well, I bought it as a gift for Chris. I think it was his birthday. From Little Red Tarot. And then he did a walkthrough and I was like, I should have bought two. I really like it. I really like the look of it. And the book, so that'll be interesting, won't it? Because in the indie version, you have to buy the book separately. But with it coming as a mass market edition, as a set, I'd imagine the book now comes with it as well. I love the colouring, says Sandra. Layla thinks the Wiser looks lovely. Hello, Calla. Purple and yellow complementary colours on the colour wheel. Absolutely, Anne. But can you see Pam's signature in the cliff? Well, our Chris thinks he's found the signature on his blotchy version, you know, the high street version of the, I think it's called the original Rider Waite. It left the Smith out. It's one you can just pick up. If I nip down now to W.H. Smith, there'll be one in there. And I mean, I've got an appreciation for them all, but I just found that one quite busy and blotchy, particularly things like the King of Pentacles. But it's Chris's first deck, and we all know what we think to our first decks. We love them. But he always, very tongue-in-cheek, says, yes, but my blotchy one, Simon, you can see the signature on the cliff. I'm not sure if you can or not. We all need to keep up to date with the virus, Simon. Or was that my Alexa? I've done it again. Alexa, stop before you even think about it. Yeah, she stopped. See you later, Malamia. Nice to see you. I can't believe I've been on an hour already. I have kept looking for it since Simon mentioned the absence. The absence. I've kept looking for it since Simon mentioned the absence. What is it that you're looking for? Shire Man? What is it you're looking for? Let me know. Like he's talking to a pet. Tell you, me and Alexa, we've got a right good little bit of banter going between us. When you live alone, look at Shirley Valentine. She ended up talking to the wall. I've got Alexa to talk to. Alexa, how are you today?
I'm feeling daft. Why not ask me to tell you a silly story?
No, you're all right. Not in the mood for a silly story, but she's feeling daft today, see? Every day she feels a little bit different. Hi, Tamaya. Nice to see you. We all look for it now. Shakes fist at Simon. Have I set everybody's Alexas off? Is that what's happening? Alexa, play I Know a Song That Will Get On Your Nerves.
I Know a Song That Will Get On Your Nerves by ABC Kids on Amazon Music.
I know a song that'll get on your nerves, get on your nerves, get on your nerves.
Alexa, stop. I'll probably get a copyright strike. But I will now. They'll probably mute that bit out. I wonder if everybody's got that. What is daft? What is daft? Moon Daisy. Where are you from, Moon Daisy? Daft is silly. When you're in a daft mood, you're in a silly mood. You wanna act daft, childish, silly. No, the signature, Simon. We all look for it now. Oh yes, yeah, on the full card, Pam's missing signature. That really stumped me when I first noticed. I can't believe I was able to get like a 40-minute video out of that, just about a signature. Anyway, I think pretty much I've covered everything. Oh, I said about children's books, didn't I? I was going to grab a deck then to do a reading, but I'll talk about, let's take out my 1JJ and have a reading with that. Oh, check me out doing a reading with it. Well, card pull with a pip deck. Talking about children's books, I love children's books. But when I was, I think we still lived at, yeah, so I think I'd be about 9, 10, maybe 10. I can remember being really poorly with tonsillitis. I got tonsillitis a lot when I was a kid. And it went to quinsy twice. And it kept reoccurring every 6 months through my adult years. And then at the age of 33, I got quinsy again. And the doctor said, enough, keep putting you on antibiotics every 6 months. You're going to become immune to antibiotics at this rate. So we need to take your tonsils out, which they don't like to do anymore as kids, let alone as adults. But they took them out when I was 33. Anyway, I don't know why I've gone there. When I was a kid, I had a really bad case of tonsillitis. And there was just me and my mum living at home at that time. So yes, I'd be 10. And my sister had left some stuff behind when she'd moved out. And one of them was a book called The Faraway Tree by Enid Blyton. Yes, I know Enid Blyton is problematic with some of her books. But I remember reading that book and absolutely loving it. So much so that I found out there was 2 more books. And then, obviously for birthdays and Christmases, I wanted the next book. I went into the Works the other day, which is a discount bookshop, and they have all 3 of the Faraway Tree collection. And I couldn't believe it. £7 for all 3 books. Oh my God, I love those. And the Wishing Chair books, yes. But I just thought it was really cool because I don't know what they'd be like to read now, but it was that whole sort of fantasy and escapism. So the first one, sorry, it wasn't the Faraway Tree. It was called The Enchanted Wood. That's the first one. Then it's The Magic Faraway Tree. And then the third one is The Folk of the Faraway Tree. And if you're not familiar with the story, it's these kids. They always have a cousin come to stay, don't they? Usually cousin Dick, something like that. And there's a tree in the woods, in the Enchanted Woods, where they can't see the top, and they climb the tree. And as they get up the tree, they meet different characters who live in the tree. Like, I think it was Dame Wash-a-Lot. Yeah, and every so often she'd chuck out a dirty laundry water, and they'd have to watch out for it because it would come flying down. There's Moonface and all these amazing characters that they meet up the tree. But when they get to the top of the tree, there is a different land. And it would change every day. So if they went back up the tree the next day, it would be a completely different land that they'd have to explore up there at the top of the tree. Oh, and it was so magical as a kid. Absolutely devoured these books. So I'm dead chuffed that I saw them in the Works for £7 for the set of 3. So I'm going to read them because I've got some time off work in a couple of weeks. I've got 2 weeks off. I'm away for 3 days, but the rest of the time, and I thought, do you know what? We can all do with connecting with our inner child from time to time, can't we? And I love children's books because they teach you a lot. Can't get them back in now. I'll do that afterwards because it's gonna bug me. Let's see what you lot are chatting about. Oh, you're from the US. Do you not use the word daft in the US? I never knew that. Being married to an American and being in America for quite a bit of time, I never realized that the word daft wasn't used. Sean says daft isn't used here. Wow, I never knew that. I knew words like Mardy, but Mardy isn't used in some parts of the UK either. But we use Mardy all the time in Nottingham, or this area, Midlands, which means like, how do you describe Mardy? Being a bit like a crybaby. When you're sulky and having tantrums, you're being Mardy. Stop being Mardy. Hi, Ayushi. It's been so long since I've been able to join one of these. Well, welcome. It's nice to see you here. Yes, you're right, Calla, as I keep looking for her signature too. It has been very interesting searching her life and career, however. Yeah, have you got the book, Pamela Colmer-Smith, The Untold Story? It's fab. Anna says, oh my God, Faraway Tree, my favourite. My brother and I read them when suffering from mumps. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You couldn't beat an Enid Blyton book when you're poorly because you have to lay in bed anyway. And there I was with the Lucozade, the staple. I do remember the doctor being called at that time because my temperature went that high that I was hallucinating. And the doctor was called out. But as I started to feel a little bit better, but not well enough to get out of bed, I must have had about 3 or 4 days in bed. But I just read the Faraway Tree books. What's the problem with Enid? Calla, some of her books were racist. I'm not even going to say the words, but there was one book in particular that was really problematic. And people can say, well, it was of the time, but it still wasn't right. And it's not until you kind of grow up and you think back to those books and you think, wow, they're really problematic. Not all of the books, but you know, there was some that was really not good. Nothing wrong with reading kids books, in my opinion. It brings out the Page of Cups within us all. Here, Sharman. Silky the Fairy, yeah. I was always worried they'd miss the slide back down the tree as the worlds moved. Barbara K. Walker has written some fun children's books. Stargazer to the Sultan was a favourite of mine. I've not heard of that. Ladybird books as tarot is a great idea. I would so buy. I think you might be a little bit behind, Janine. Mardy arse. Yeah, we drop the Y on it when we say that. Here we say Mardarse. Oh, you Mardarse. You either being Mardy or you're a Mardarse. I'm going to use these words now. You should use gutted too. Yeah, gutted. Really gutted. Simon is speaking in Nottinghamshire tongues. What he means is silly, if that makes any sense. So many, there's so many Nottingham words that we Gerard. That means you're joking. Gerard. Which actually means get out. As in, get out. But it's Gerard. There's loads of little things. We used to have that shop. Do you remember when I used to do giveaways? Oh, there might be a giveaway soon because I'm about to hit a number that's quite exciting. But of like the A Up Me Duck coasters and things like that. There used to be a shop in Nottingham called Ducky. Because that's what we call people as well. Hey up, Ducky. Hey up me ducks, or you're right, Ducky. And they used to have like tea towels and t-shirts with lots of Nottingham phrases on. Stay here long enough and you get an education in UK slang, says Pamela. You could be right. I love you learning UK lingo. US person here too. Barbara K. Walker did a great debt, the Barbara Walker, yeah, and her grown-up books are fab. I'm surprised to realise she did a children's book I loved. This is fascinating. Bring on regional slang. Okay, so your wish is my command. Right, so here's a list of most. I'll try and speak them in Nottinghamese as well. The way you have to keep agreeing to cookies. A Up Me Duck is the first one. A Up Me Duck, which is the most popular Nottingham greeting, and it means hello, friends. So A Up Me Ducks. When I say to you at the beginning, A Up Me Ducks, I'm saying hello, friends. Or eat. So or eat is are you okay? So you just say to somebody, all right. And that's spelled ALLREET, or eat. I ought to put comments up on this because now I'm on my iPad, I can't see any comments. Ta-ra then. Ta-ra then is goodbye. Ta-ra is what we say. But I didn't realise that was Nottingham. I thought everybody in the UK said ta-ra. Ta-ra then. Youth. YOOTH. You'd say that to a man, apparently, even though women can be youths. Init code. I say that all the time. But today it's in it hot. But in it code is, isn't it cold? What do you want? WO double T JO WONT. What do you want? Which is what do you want? What do you want? How's orchid? Not orchids, how's orchid? So how's your little brother or sister? Orchid. I'm all right. I'm quite well. I'm all right. Where'd you walk? Where'd you walk? This is actually what it is. You don't realise till you see it written down. Look, where'd you walk? Where do you work? Where'd you walk? And then we are famished, which is hungry. That's quite bad, really, when you think that it derives from famines. Famished. I'm famished. Oh, I'm nash. Nash is cold. How are you diddling? How are you doing? Where's a boozer? Could you direct me to the local hostelry? I love this because it's like Nottingham speak converted into Queen's English. You'd never say, could you direct me to the local hostelry? Where's the boozer? Go on, get off. That's, please go away. Go on, get off. Yo shit. That's one for our Becca. Yo dutty sod. Yo dutty sod is you dirty sod. But in the Queen's language, I'm disgusted by your language and behaviour. You dutty sod, or you mucky bogger. That's another one. You mucky bogger. Shut your gob. Shut your gob. So that's shut your mouth. These are awesome. Keep up, Simon. I'm knackered. I say that a lot. Yeah, you had a good day. Yeah, but I'm knackered. I'm knackered. So that means I'm very tired. I'm knackered. Are you seeing a bog? Are you seeing a bog? Is there a toilet nearby? And then, yeah, there's so many. I won't do them all. Gera, move on. Gera is get, and Gera. Move on is please hurry. Gera, move on. Macros a mash. That's would you brew a cup of tea? Or a mashed duck. That's have you brewed a cup of tea? Fuddle is an indoor picnic. So let's have a fuddle. So we have fuddles at work. So Friday is the last day of the academic year. We're having a fuddle. So everybody brings a bit of food to share with the collective. Croggy is when you give somebody a lift on your bike. Tabanging. Oh, I love that one. So stop tabanging. That's when you're listening into something when you're not invited. So, Tim tabanging. You know, we say that all the time. Are you getting them in? Are you getting them in? It's your turn for a round, basically. If you're in a pub and you want your drinks order, it's are you getting them in? Do you know? Which is JONO. Do you know? Which is do you realise? Get it down, yeah. Get it down, yeah, is please begin your meal. Get it down, yeah. You know, if you say, oh, I'm full, I don't want all my dinner. Get it down, yeah. That's what we got as kids. You jammy sod. You lucky person. Yeah, there's hundreds on here. I could go on, but it's 8:20 and I haven't had my dinner. Do you know the expression, it's black over Bill's mothers? Yeah. My nan was born in Shirebrook and lived in Nottingham all her life, and that was her top expression. Yeah, so it's black over Bill's mothers means, you know, when you see the black clouds coming in and you think, oh, there's going to be a downpour of rain. So, oh, it's looking a bit black over Bill's mothers. Don't know who Bill was, but yeah, that was a very popular one. Yes, it does in certain parts of the UK, Emma. What did Emma say? Fuddle. Please do not drop too many letters. Herbs are still pronounced with the H. Yeah, we say H. We say herbs here. Here. So drop the H on here. We say herbs here. Oh dear. My ex-wife, who was from Utah, one thing she said was, I really like being here because at school I always used to pronounce herbs with a H. She used to get pulled up for it. She says, now I can just do it. Hello, Mo. At 7:19 a.m. in New Zealand. Are you on the North or the South Island, Mo? Earwiggin. Yeah, Earwiggin. Same as Tabangin, really. Oops. Oh. Do I have it as jumper or is it my bad shuffling? I think it's my bad shuffling. I haven't put the comments back up on this. There we go. All right. Oh my gosh, there's still 2 cards on the table. I'm shuffling and I didn't pick them back up. I said that the other day, black over Bill's mothers. All right, so let's focus. Card for the collective. What do we need to focus on going into the next week? All right. Oh, we have, there would be a pip, wouldn't it? We have the 5 of Wands. So the way I read pips is I basically go with the numerology and what the suit is representing. So the 5 for me is around that disruptive energy that comes in. Okay. The Wands are our desires, our passions, our drives, our motivation. So the question to consider, I think, for this week is, what disruptive energy has caused you to stall with something that you have felt in the past quite motivated in doing? Where did it start and what was it? And I think if we can get to the root of that, then we can find that passion again. But if there's a disruptive element coming in to something that we feel we really want to achieve, and we've had the passion and the drive, but now all of a sudden, because of some external force that has disrupted that, why have we lacked the motivation to push through? So consider that for the week ahead. You know, think about your circumstances. Think about what it is that you really, really wanted to achieve and what it is that stopped that from happening. And then refocus and carry on going forward. Because if it was important to you once before, then consider whether it's still important for you in your life. And if it's just a disruptive force that's come in, then that can be overcome. You can get past it. Don't let it stop you in your tracks from achieving what you really want to achieve. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. It's been lovely to catch up with you all. Thank you again, Anne, if you're still here, for the beautiful double pouch. I absolutely love it. These are all the wrong way around. I'm going to have to sit and put them the right way around because I don't do reversals. Anyway, yeah, lovely to be here with you. I will probably be on in the week. Don't forget, if you want to come on and be on a catching up with me, if you want to be interviewed, then let me know. My email address, actually, let me pop it up so you can see it, is there. Drop me an email if you want to come on and be interviewed. Don't have anybody lined up at the moment. I think the last one was a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? Which was Brian Cormac Carr. So let me know. Yeah, and thank you. Have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget to stay safe, as particularly if you're in the UK with everything that we've got going on. We've got this national emergency declared, so keep cool, keep hydrated, look after your pets, and yeah, I will see you on the other side of it. So again, have a great weekend. Go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.